know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt and Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt and Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Are you an E or a C?
Both have Ridgeback. These are loaded with tech.
Which one are you gaming? Definitely E for me.
It's just so forgiving.
I'm definitely an E. C is for Cheka. What else?
C is for kill it. C is me. Low spinning bombs.
So, are you an E or a C?
I don't know. Hey, wait a minute.
Pound.
This is Big's Product of the Week. Each week, Big John and the Golf Father select a golf product to feature. Here is Big John Vick and Bill, the Golf Father Quaidus, with this week's Product of the Week.
And we're back here on BGT 2.0 Big's Golf Talk, and we've been having multiple products of the week all throughout the program here in the second hour. Blue Tees Golf, and talked a little bit about them, and over the last couple of shows, we have had some great products that we were able to do some interviews. And once again, we want to throw a special thank you out to the PGA Merchandise Show people, Sherry Major, for allowing us to have that editorial experience on the floor. And we're looking forward to next year already. So, Bill, Greg is smiling. He's like, he's still recovering.
Nonstop. So I know we're going to talk about that one question that I wanted to find out on your guys' thoughts of the Live Tour. We do know that they're more outgoing. They are playing music. Now the players are more, how would you say, fan friendly, where they weren't in the past. We on this show alone, we've talked a lot about the women.
Well, I actually have an answer to that too.
Okay.
So here's the deal. They have guaranteed money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a part of it.
Yep.
Where PGA Tour, you are playing for a spot and for money levels.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I like the laid back look that the Live Golf has with the shorts and, just really laid back, but you're competing. Mm-hmm. You're competing as an individual and you're competing as a team at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a commercial with like all these different teams and names and everything that
Crushers
they're doing.
I'm a Crushers fan, so
you're a Crushers fan?
Team Crushers.
Team Crushers. Yeah, so I was watching the commercial. I saw that. I know now that I guess they were on the CW and stuff like that. So they had them on for the CW. But, I didn't get to see that. I didn't see the commercials and stuff like that. But there's a lot of stuff going on. PGA just announced this past week that they're going to shorten the fields. So they're going between 70 and 78 people. And there's going to be no Friday cut. So Live Golf was right there front and center, taking all the credit for it. Yep, that's because of us. We did it. We did that. And at this point, does it really matter who did it, what they did? If the changes are there and whatever, cause and effect. Now they're also allowed to play in the champions, the main 4 or 5, whatever it's going to be this year. They're going to be allowed to participate in all those, the Masters and stuff like that, without penalty, which is, I guess, is great. But the way they're mocking each other, it's like, I don't know, like school kids. You're seeing it going back and forth. You saw Sergio. He's pissed off at Rory because Rory's not his best friend anymore because they made it.
Well, here's the thing, too, is Tiger comes on social media and says, after the TV telecast, that these guys are Make-A-Wish Foundation children wanting to play professional golf.
Yeah, that's not smart. I'm just gonna say that's not smart, not cool, and no.
At the same time, I'm going to defend Tiger in the fact that him and Justin Thomas had a little joke that someone decided to take a picture of.
That was funny.
That was funny as hell.
That was funny though, and the thing is, like, people are so sensitive now, man. You know.
So what's the difference in what Fuzzy said about Tiger, except that they ripped Fuzzy apart by saying what he said years ago, lost sponsorships and everything else, and then Tiger and them blame the media for releasing that picture. Well, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Well,
you can't blame the media for exposing what you did.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's okay because Tiger and
here's the thing, Tiger should have never apologized.
No, not for that.
Tiger should have stood his ground and said, "Hey, it was a joke between two friends,
and that's
it. Got it, and it just so happened that somebody took a picture of me doing it, but it's a joke."
Yeah, it was a joke among friends. I mean, I wish I would have thought about that because I'd be carrying tampons everywhere all the time. Here you go. You deserve this. You got first place, and that would be your trophy. So yeah, no, I get it. I don't think there was anything wrong with what Tiger did, minus the fact that he brought in that they look like Make-A-Wish Foundation and stuff like that. But
it's interesting. Rory, in an interview yesterday that I saw, said something about Liv with the fact that they have exposed some of the weaknesses and problems that the PGA Tour has, and they're now fixing them. So it's like almost giving credit that we know something was wrong, and now they're trying to fix it and make it right.
Yeah.
So why dig at the people that help you expose your flaws?
Right.
Yeah, because ultimately those guys that are on Live, they're going to get it, and all they keep saying is, "You're losing."
I mean, you don't have to sit here and gloat it, but in a way, Live Tour is responsible for what the PGA Tour is doing.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
And the PGA Tour is saying to their faces of that tour, "Hey, defend us on this. You know, we admit we got mistakes, but go on in front of the cameras and say we're fixing it."
Yeah. And that's the thing. No, you know that nobody's going to take that high road. Nobody's going to admit fault. None of that stuff's going to happen. They're still going to be too divided. And this week, also in the news, they were talking about how Rory and Tiger, along with some other gentlemen, they're going to be the next hiccup for the PGA Tour in what they're creating, and nobody's really pushing attention to it. But I know that Rory and Tiger are working on doing some kind of golfing for like simulations and stuff like that.
Yeah. And good for them. It's going to be a fun thing and good for them.
And they're talking about how that
there's a place in golf for all these entities right now. I mean, golf can be done in so many different ways, so many different formats. Yeah. It's the only sport that I know that can have 100 different formats, and you can make it a professional tour out of it or a league out of it.
Absolutely. And I believe that's what's coming. You know, there's good, bad, ugly. I know there was one golfer that was recently, I guess Tiger Woods has a company now that does for the golfers to help the golfers as their agency and stuff like that. And one of the guys was talking about going to Live Golf. And I mean, within hours, he lost everything. Sponsors, the representation, everything. And basically he was blaming Tiger Woods for it. So there's a lot of things. When you have control, money, and power, if you don't like something, unfortunately, you can make a huge impact in somebody's life by backing out. And that's where I'm having a hard time because, while the PGA is making all these wonderful, great changes now, shortening the field. Well, is it what impact is that going to have? When you shorten this field now,
you get less opportunity to less professional golfers.
Monday qualifiers.
Well, what happens to the other 170 guys that may have made it that week that are now sitting at home playing some underling tour?
There's no Cinderella stories anymore. You're eliminating that because you're picking that 70, 78, and there's no cut. So by eliminating the cut, everybody gets paid, and all they're looking at, we're going to get paid a lot more money. But you know what? All those other people that were playing from, their heart out to have that dream to want to golf, you just crushed it. You just destroyed. You took away their opportunity.
They're having a big meeting Tuesday of the tournament players, but is that involve everybody or just who's at the players to explain what this deal is? Because how do you justify? Well, okay, the Corn Ferry Tour is the developmental tour, like LPGA, and then the Epson,
all that stuff. Yeah,
but the other side is what happens to all those.
By the way, I don't mean to cut you off. Congratulations to French Lick Resort.
Oh yeah.
You know, for getting the Corn Ferry Tour to have a tournament there. So
2024 is coming.
Sorry, go ahead, Greg.
But when you look at all those possibilities of what happens to the Corn Ferry Tour now, because those are the 120 kids that want to try to make it to the PGA Tour. Now you've just cut the tour in half, so to speak. What happens to all those players that would have normally played? And then they're talking about individual schedules that they can only participate in so many. And then the young kids, the up and comers, can come in and play in those events. At the Miami Honda Classic, there was only 3 in the top 20 that was in that field. So how do you continue that kind of growth by them saying, okay, we're gonna do corporate events during those weeks because we get paid, and I fulfill my corporate duties, yet here's a major brand playing a Florida swing, and what happens?
Yeah. And I'll tell you this much: with the Live Tour, you can add teams.
And that's what they're gonna do.
You can add more teams, and because they're teams of 4, so you can add more teams if you wanted to. If you got more interest for people to play on that tour and all that stuff,
you are going to have more interest, and you're going to have more people going to play for that money. And I think
because there was a lot of no names that I didn't recognize that was playing.
There really is. They took kids out of. I think there was one out of high school. There were people out of college. There were a lot of people that we never heard of, and there was a lot of people that weren't making the cuts. A lot of guys that they have the name, they made the name, but then they disappeared. You know, so even at that on that show Full Swing that we were watching, on Netflix and stuff. When you watch that show, you see some of these golfers that were like, they gave in. They're like, I'm not making it on the tour. I can't compete. I can't do this. I can't do that. And then a week later, I'm going to Live Tour. It's the best financial decision for me.
Graham McDowell's on Live. Lee Westwood's on Live. Obviously, Phil Mickelson's still there. Bubba Watson.
Poulter.
Justin Johnson.
Oh, yeah,
hey,
Poulter.
Did you have a funny video to show?
Oh, yeah, we got to show a video. Let's show the video.
Which video?
I don't know. You had a video for 6 minutes that we're going to show during this segment.
Didn't we have a Larry the Cable Guy with you?
Oh, yeah, we do. But I guess I don't think we have enough time to.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have
to see you and Larry together again.
I guess we're gonna show Larry next week.
Yes.
Next week, Larry's gonna be with us.
Blue Tees golf, not Blue Tees. Clean Flight Golf we're gonna have next week as well.
Next week we'll have that
as it do it for this show. So
yeah, there's a lot of news and everything going on, and it's crazy. It's going to be fun to see what happens next week with all these meetings and all this other stuff. The tours are changing.
I will be at TPC next week, so there'll be a lot of interesting things happening. Try to kind of get up to speed with what's going on, but it's tough on the guys. That you come in there and you spend the money.
Yeah,
and the younger guys just can't make it because, I mean, last place I think in Miami. Bev said something about $40,000. Well, by the time you pay your caddy, all your expenses, everything else, and you're not a top-rated player, you're losing money by missing the cut.
Yep. And there's if you guys go watch Full Swing, there's an episode with my new favorite golfer. I'm not going to tell you his name, and I'll report it next week. But he's the underdog. He was an older amateur that came in on the scene. I love how he golfs. I love his mentality. I love everything that he's gone through. He's gone through cancer and everything else, and he's still there. And he ended up coming close, and he's won events, and he's doing everything. And you got to go watch Full Swing. Go check it out. Give us your thoughts. Let's see what you think about it. I think there's some amazing. Some people don't like it. Some people will. I like the behind the scenes. I like the underdogs. I like watching the 3 stories on the 3 amateurs, older amateurs, not kids, but older amateurs that have come from around the world to come to the PGA Tour and make it big. And you also get to see the guys that are making it big and then leaving the tour for Live Golf. So it's a really interesting story behind the scenes. A lot of people's like, yeah, it's an everyday story, but that's if you're covering it. It's not if you're watching it. A lot of people watch golf. They're not watching everything, the craziness. They don't have that time to watch the crazy.
So the music scene and everything else we were talking about, how do they put up with it at the Waste Management? Because you've got 4 holes that wrap around that stadium, and they just can't raise those the stands up and say, "Please be quiet," and everybody around that
that's
stadium
the thing. And you know, Amanda had a good answer when she talked about it because she works it every year. You know, she works the event. That's what they want. So when you had that crazy guy half naked running around on that hole and jumping in the water and all the cops chasing him and then arresting him, that's what they want. They're cheering it. They're happy.
Just proves my theory, right, of traditional golf versus louder.
Yeah.
Okay. Because even under the PGA Tour, that when you golfed at the Waste Management, you expected the louder portion of that golf.
Absolutely. You're going to finish to a lot of noise. And if you don't hit the green, you're going to know about it.
Right.
People are going to
the other side of it is when you walk onto that golf course and do this, like, come on, bring it up.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't expect me to be quiet the next week.
No, and that's what they expect. Sort of like the 2 golfers that got in trouble. I think they were both in last place. They were like, the crowd yelling, "If you hit the green, take off your shirts." One of them was really, really tart. You know, he was really round, and the other one was okay, right? But they both hit the green and they took their shirts off.
We are out of time here on Big's Golf Talk BGT 2.0. Thanks, guys. Great conversation, man. We've gone on and on about this conversation. For Greg Wise, the wisest man in golf. For Bill Cuevas, the golf father. For the golf diva, Amanda Sensor, I am Big John Quick. Our website is www.bigsgolftalk.net or .com, BIGGS golftalk.net or .com. Be sure to follow us on social media and subscribe with us on YouTube, all at Big's Golf Talk. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Until next time,
you matter.
Okay. Yeah, there you go.
Well, you matter.
Hey, yeah, you matter.
God bless. You matter.
Punch the button.
There you go.
The button.
See you next week.